The 2017 Nissan Maxima. Now, this is a car that for years has been called a four-door sports car, and for the previous two generations especially, well, I gotta be honest with you, the Maxima wasn't so sporty, but this one is all new, so let's find out if it is now the four-door sports car it is supposed to be. I'm Jay, and welcome to this latest episode of CarBuzz Unboxing Reviews, and I want to thank future Nissan of Folsom for letting CarBuzz come on down and film this for you today. So, the Nissan Maxima. Now, this is one of my favorite full-size sedans on the market, but back when it was first introduced in 1981, it was still a mid-size sedan. That car is now in the Nissan lineup, the Altima. Now, this Maxima, like I said, it has been completely redesigned for the 2016 model year. This is an early 2017 model, so the differences are, well, there probably aren't any significant differences whatsoever. But just my first impressions of this interior, and I just have to be honest with you, is that it makes me question the need to even buy an Infiniti. This Nissan Maxima is just so well equipped, and the build and interior quality, generally speaking, is fabulous. Now, just so that you're aware, this is the top trim Maxima you can get. This is the Platinum version, meaning, yeah, it's going to cost you a bit more, but when you get to final pricing here and you do a direct apples-to-apples comparison to an Infiniti, you're going to really question why you should get that Infiniti. And this exterior design, I'll come back to this in a few more minutes. I know some people are just either going to like it or they're not. I happen to really like it. So this interior, now this is charcoal leather. That's what the exact name of the color they call it. And it's got these really cool zero-gravity front seats there. They have NASA-inspired technology for added comfort. It's the same seats that you can get in the Nissan Murano. And yes, right there, that is real wood trim. Very impressive. It is actually mahogany wood tone finish. And yeah, that's what you get when you buy the Platinum trim. Now, something else that you need to know about the Maxima is that it's built on the same platform that underpins the Altima, the Pathfinder, and the Murano. In fact, this has the same engine and transmission combo as those cars as well, but it's tuned a bit differently in order to match, the Maxima's personality. Again, is it a really or true four-door sports car? Well, from the looks of it here, yeah, it really looks sporty and premium. And I love it how the wood trim is still in there for the rear seat occupants too. Now, I have to say, this rear seat, oh man, it is extremely spacious. And you should expect that on a full-size family sedan like this one. Now, it was also equipped with the 11-speaker Bose sound system. Again, that's a feature you get on this Platinum trim here. Now, from the driver's seat, if you just look at this, it's just incredible how much this car has grown up, I would like to say, from its immediate predecessor. I was just not a big fan of that Maxima at all, and just the way this dash is designed here, in fact, it's angled 7 degrees towards the driver. It gives the Maxima that four-door sports car feeling. But how it drives, well, I'll get to that. Now, some of the standard features you get here is this leather-covered steering wheel, leather shift knob. Again, those all come standard fare. Now here, this is the 8-inch touchscreen. It's Nissan's Connect infotainment system, and it's the same system that you'll find in the Nissan Murano. I encourage you to check out my unboxing review of that crossover as well. And yeah, I think this is a very nice system. It's relatively easy to use. It's very intuitive. I think I liked Ford's new Sync 3 a little bit better, but generally speaking, no complaints about this whatsoever. So let's talk safety here. Now, this Maxima is so new, it hasn't even officially been crash tested by the US government, but of course you do have standard driver and front passenger airbags, side airbags, blind spot warning with rear cross traffic alert, predictive forward collision warning, forward emergency braking, four-wheel ABS brakes, traction control, stability control, and a tire pressure monitoring system. So yeah, it's a very safe vehicle. And of course, yes, there you go, dual zone climate control. I think that's great, and I'm seeing that becoming more and more standard these days, especially when you get to larger vehicles such as this one. I'll talk more about this transmission in a few minutes, but even though it looks like an automatic, it is actually a CVT, continuously variable transmission. So what is some of the competition in this full-size sedan segment here? Well, for starters, you have the Dodge Charger, the Chrysler 300, actually those two are corporate twins. You have the Chevrolet Impala, Buick LaCrosse, Toyota Avalon, Kia Cadenza, and the Hyundai Azera. Now, all of those started in the high $20,000 to low $30,000 range, and they all top off at around no more than $45,000. And I'll get to pricing very soon as well, and the Maxima falls right in line with that. Now, a good friend of mine, actually, has just traded in his Nissan Altima for a Maxima, and the car he directly cross-shopped his Maxima with was the Dodge Charger. In fact, he was about to get the Charger with the Hemi V8, rear-wheel drive. I had a test or a press car for the Dodge Challenger about a year and a half ago, and he loved that, and I told him, look, the Dodge Charger is literally the four-door family sedan version of the Challenger, and he decided right then and there that was going to be his next car, but then he took a look at this Maxima, and he preferred the Maxima in the end. And I asked him why. And he said, well, it was just a more premium sedan. Can't argue with that. For an example, this dual panoramic sunroof. Now, this is standard in this top-level Platinum. You can't get in the base model, but around the mid-range trim, it becomes standard. Now, only a few years ago, you had these panoramic sunroofs like that. They were only in the high-end Mercedes, and now you're getting it in a Nissan Maxima. And that's really cool. Now, the other thing you should know, as I already mentioned, the Maxima, it's built on the same platform, again, as the Murano. It has the same engine, has the same transmission, and I call the Murano basically a raised hatchback version of the Maxima. And so you can look at it the other way around. The Maxima is basically a sedan version of the Murano crossover. In fact, their interior and exterior designs are very, very similar. The same design theme going on there. So if you find the Maxima to be too small, or you just need the space or the convenience of a crossover, you just like a taller ride height, check out the Murano. It's a fantastic midsize crossover. It's right up there with the Ford Edge. In fact, some people think it's better than Ford Edge. In fact, the Murano has more interior cargo space than the Ford Edge. Now, what is the other car that Ford builds that competes with the Maxima? Well, that's the Ford Taurus, but that car is aging, and I really don't see it as being all that competitive anymore. And I think this Maxima is most in line with, in terms of front-wheel drive, full-size sedan to another full-size family sedan, definitely the Chevrolet Impala. So how does this drive? Well, now, this is perhaps going to be my really main and only criticism of the new Maxima, is that, well, it's just not that sporty. I mean, there's two driving modes, normal and sport. That's it. There is excellent overall body control, but there's just still too much understeer, I felt. And even with the more sports-oriented trim, the SR, it just, it wasn't that sporty. And that's because, well, a couple problems. One, it's just the platform in general. It's not a rear-wheel drive based platform like it is on the Dodge Charger. Front-wheel drive, again, this is the same platform underpins the Nissan Altima, and that's not that sporty of a car either. So there's only so much Nissan engineers could work with here. And, I give them credit for at least making the attempt to make this sportier, but the other problem is that transmission, the CVT. It's just slow to shift at times, and it just couldn't keep up the car's speed. Now, what's nice about the SR Sportier trim is that it has a slightly tighter suspension and 19-inch instead of 18-inch wheels, but I think the Maxima is a better luxury full-size family sedan. Just for an example, look at this trunk. It's massive. You have 64 split folding rear seats as well. What I like about this Maxima is that it offers everything you want in a really premium full-size family sedan. It's not so much a sports sedan. And it's kind of a shame because the Maxima has such a long history of being more sporty than the others, and it's just simply not. Even though it looks like it, inside and out. But also to give credit to Nissan's engineers, now compared to the previous Maxima, this new one, it is actually 82 pounds lighter than before. And also the interior, it was inspired by aerospace technology. So they made a very good effort. But if you are looking for something sporty to drive, this is not the car. Now under the hood here, this is the latest updated version of the naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6, total of 300 horsepower and 261 pound-feet of torque. Like I said, it's mated to a CVT transmission, which sends power to the front wheels only. All-wheel drive is not offered. Now, Nissan has programmed the CVT to act like a regular automatic, so there's little to no rubber banding, but there's still a slight power delay that sporty enthusiast drivers are going to feel immediately. But this is still a very good sedan engine, and it's not turbocharged. But let's give this a listen here. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. You know, it's naturally aspirated. It's not turbocharged. You're going to go from 0 to 60 miles per hour, 5.9 seconds. Top speed, 135 miles per hour, electronically limited. Fuel economy, 21 miles per gallon in the city, 30 on the highway, and a combined 25. And again, that's not bad for a car that weighs 3,545 pounds. But like I mentioned, it's the same engine and transmission combo that are found in so many other Nissans today, such as the Altima and the Murano. It's just not that sporty, and yet Nissan claims that 61% of this V6's parts have been redesigned compared to the previous generation Maxima. But let's talk about the exterior here. Now, this is painted in pearl white premium paint, costs an extra $395, and as you saw, when you look up close, especially in the sun, it looks really, really nice. You also have these 18-inch machined aluminum alloy wheels, LED headlights, LED signature daytime running lights, fog lights, and of course, you saw that dual panel panoramic sunroof. Now, you also have a rear spoiler standard. And yeah, it's the spoiler, it's trying to make this car look sportier, and look at this exterior design. Yeah, this is really sporty. It's the same styling theme as the Murano is, and I like that. You have that floating roof going on back there, or up top rather. I think that's really cool. Now, the front end, you know, I appreciate it, I like it, but I can easily see how one person described it to me as being sort of chunky. And I get that, because it is, but the car clearly has personality. You also have that dual exhaust there with the chrome tips. That's also standard. So you're getting a nice car for the money. And speaking of which, how much does a new Maxima cost? Well, the base price Maxima, the S trim, it starts at $32,560. Now, our Platinum trim, now this is again the top of the line, came to a grand total of $39,390. But then again, we added some extra features, so that came to $41,660. So yeah, I think just under $42,000 for this car is a great value. It's a good deal, especially if you want and need a full-size family sedan and you want it to be quite luxurious, but you don't want to have to pay for the nameplate of an Infiniti or a Lexus or whatever. So basically, I think Nissan has kind of created internal competition with its own Infiniti brand. I honestly don't see any reason why you should choose an Infiniti of the same classification segment over this Maxima. You're spending less money and you're getting a really good looking car in return. Biggest downside, it's just not a four-door sports car, and yeah, I know that exterior styling may be too much for some, but the bottom line is I think Nissan, or at least with this Maxima, has built a better luxury sedan than a sports sedan. Looks great inside and out, but it's not a sports car. So I'm out of time, everyone, today. Thanks so much for watching. Any more questions for me, just leave them in the comment section below. Any suggestions for future unboxing reviews, also leave those in the comment section, and be sure to subscribe to the CarBuzz Unboxing YouTube channel and check out the full review of the 2017 Nissan Maxima on carbuzz.com. So until my next review, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.